I mean, what can the Beatles not do? They can sing, they can play, they can act, they can have a great time.
They don't hide behind a smoke screen of bourgeois cliches.
Yeah.
There you go. Hiding behind a smoke screen of bourgeois cliches.
Well, you are a big Paul McCartney fan and a big Beatles fan. You got to meet Paul McCartney once.
I did. I was well, I got to sing with him at an awards thing. He invited me up to sing, and I thought, okay, well, that's pretty awesome. I was thrilled. But later on, I was in a recording studio, and he was down the hall, and I didn't think he'd remembered me. So I never bothered him, because he's Paul McCartney, and I'm not. But I was sitting outside having my cup of noodles or whatever, and he came over and sat down and goes, "Hi, Chris," and started to talk. And this part I know for sure. I did not mention the Beatles or ask him about Hamburg or the early Beatles. Although I'm dying to know about that stuff and talk to him about it, but I just thought it would be rude. He's done a million interviews. Yeah. He didn't want to talk about it. So I said, like, it's a nice day, nice weather. And he went, when we were in Hamburg recording, and he started, and we talked for an hour, and he told stories about early Beatles, and I just thought, later on, I played it all back in my head later on because I was so thrilled, and I thought, he is a really nice guy, and he must have gone, this young guy, he would love to hear about this stuff. And he opened up and talked.
That's so great. And this movie is a really interesting and fun look at life behind the scenes of a rock band. I was a huge fan of your Showtime show, the Chris Isaak Show, which did something similar. Did this movie at all inspire that show?
I think any musician has been inspired by the Beatles. And this movie, yeah, it would inspire that show. The idea that you go, hey, you could actually just be yourself.
Right. Well, it's a lot of fun to watch. Thanks so much. All right, stick around, because coming up next, we have another one of Chris's absolute favorites, Elvis Presley, in one of his most fantastic films from 1957.